Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, mashallah, we got Sophia and Zainab with us. Okay, inshallah. Right. Okay, so let us get started, inshallah. It is time. The others will join us as they come into class. Okay, so let us begin, inshallah. Before we continue, if I can get there's two of you in the class at the moment, others will join us. But as we do, can I get you to do your tables, please? So if we start with the huwa, huma, hum, who would like to have a go first?
I don't mind.
Okay, Bismillah, go ahead.
هو هما هم
Mhm.
هي هما هن أنت أنتما أنتم أنتي أنتما هن أنا نحن
Okay, good. And the other one?
هو هما هم ها هما هن كا كما كم كي كما كنا ينا.
Well done, mashallah. And Sophia?
Okay. هو هما هم هي هما هن أنت أنتما أنتم أنتي أنتما أنتن أنا نحن
Good.
هو هما هم ها هما هن كا كما كم كي كما كنا ينا.
Very good. Mashallah, very good. Muhammad, do you want to have a go? You're on mute. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. هو هما هم هي هما هن أنت أنتما أنتم أنتي أنتما أنتن أنا نحن
Very good, mashallah. Yeah, go ahead.
هو
Who?
هما هم ها هما هن كا كما كن كي كما كنا ينا.
Well done, mashallah. Allah Mubarak. Okay, so let's continue then. Let's start. So we have with us today, there's three of us at the moment, so let's go with that. Uh, okay, so I'm aware of some of you have handed in your homework, and they have not all been marked as of yet, so we will cover the homework in next week's class. Okay, you'll get your markings, inshallah, tonight or tomorrow, but we'll go over them in the coming class. But for today, let's get started. If you remember, when we started our classes, we said there are four phrases. Okay, there are four phrases that we want to cover. And the first one was Shibu Jumla, okay, which we covered. The second one was the Idafa, okay, which we covered today. Inshallah, we're going to be starting what's known as Al-Ishara. Okay, Al-Isharatu. We're going to go into that. And then the fourth, what's left is Al-Wasf, which is very easy, which is basically adjectives. Hopefully, we'll cover that in the next week's class. So today, we're going to move on to the third of these four. So now you're experts in the Shibh Jumla, okay, experts in the Idafa, and now you have the Ishara. So let me just bring the Ishara down here. So okay, Al-Ishara. Okay, Al-Ishara. Now, firstly, before we look at that, what exactly is the Ishara? In English, we call this the demonstration. Yeah, the demonstrative noun, which is very simple in that if we want to say this student, Okay, if we want to say this student, or we want to say that book. Okay, so here we are using the word this, we are using the word that to point to something. The word ishara, in other languages, ishara means to give a sign or a signal. So you're pointing towards something. This student, that book. Okay, we can extend this out to these students. Okay, those students. So our lesson today is about these words. The this, the that, the these, and those. Because we are pointing. We are pointing to something. And even in English, when we point to something, we say these boys, that book, this pen. Is that something ma'rifah or is that something nakira? Basically, is that something known or is it something unknown when we're pointing at something? What do you think?
Known.
Very good. Something known. So if I'm referring to that pen here, if I say this pen is something known, it's not something nakira, it's not unknown, right? If I say that phone, right? So I'm referring to a particular phone. Now, so that's one thing we've established, that the ismul ishara, it works in a definite structure. Now, next thing is, what's the difference in English between this and that? Who can tell me what's the difference? If I said this pen and I said that pen, what's the difference with those two?
This is closer while that is more further away.
Perfect. That's exactly what it is. Spot on. So with the demonstration, one is referring to something close to you and one is referring to something which is far away. Which means just like in English, we also have that in Arabic. So in Arabic, we have what's known as al-ishara, okay, the demonstration. And these words or these nouns are split into two. Okay, they're split into two types. And very easy and obvious to understand. What are the two types? Number one is إشارة القريب. What does qarib mean?
Near.
Near. Okay, so the first set of these ishara are going to be near. The second is ishara, sorry. إشارة البعيد. And ba'id means these words have come up in your far. Very good. So we've got a group of words that are qarib and a group of words that are far. Now, I've sent out on Google Classroom the two. You can open it there if you like, or you can simply just look at my screen, but I have sent it to you so you can review it there. So if you look in front of you now, these words here are the Isharatul Qarib. And they also divide up into groups. So you have the male and female, and you have the singular and the plural. So you have here for now, just look at the word hada. Okay, so we've got the, and then we've got hada. Okay, just focus on the hada for now. So we've got hada, that's for a male, and we've got hadihi, that's for the female. And for the plural, it makes life easy. There's no male and female. We use haula'i. Okay, So هذا, هذه, and هؤلاء. So if I can ask you to repeat after me, so unmute your mics and repeat after me. We'll do it one at a time, and then we'll do all of them together. So هذا,
هذا
هذا
هذه,
هذه
هذه
هؤلاء.
هؤلاء
هؤلاء
Good. Let's do them together. هذا, هذه, هؤلاء.
هذا
هذا
هذه
هذه
هؤلاء.
هؤلاء.
Good. So this is table number 3 for your homework, which you have to memorize. Okay, very easy. There's nothing difficult here. هذا, هذه, and هؤلاء. Just 3 words. Okay, هذا for singular male, هذه for singular female, and هؤلاء for the plural. Yeah? Good. So that is the Isharatul Qarib. You got that in your notes. Now and you can see the translation there as well is this, and these. Right. Can you see a change on your screen? You should see
No.
now. Can you see ذلك?
yeah.
Oh yeah, now I can.
Good. So these ishara, they are for the far away. They are the isharatul ba'id. The exact same structure, exact same thing, but different words for the far away. So if you're talking about something masculine and it is further away, you would say ذلك. Okay, ذلك. If it's female, you would say tilka. Tilka. And if there's a group of male or female, but they're far away, you would say أولئك. Okay, so repeat after me. ذلك.
ذلك
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 Good. تلك.
تلك
تلك
أولئك.
أولئك
أولئك.
Good. Let's do them all together. ذلك تلك أولئك.
ذلك
تلك
تلك
أولئك.
أولئك.
Good. Alhamdulillah. So we've got 4 tables now. Okay, you've got the huwa huma hum, the huwa huma hum. That's easy. You've done that. Then you got هذا هذه هؤلاء. Easy. And now you've just got this ذلك تلك and أولئك. Okay, so in next class I'll be asking you for these. So please do memorize these. Yeah, very simple, very easy, and they are often in the Quran and in the Sunnah. Is that a question? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was wondering why is it ذاك, like with ذلك?
Okay. So let me show you that with my notes. Bismillah. Okay, so good question. So with the Ism al-Ishara, as you rightly pointed out, we have the word هذا. Okay, so that's هذه. We've got the word هذا. And we've got the word هذه. And we've also got the word هؤلاء. Okay. Now, this is all that we need, but you asked a question, so I want to answer the question now. That the actual ishara, the actual word for showing this is the word the. But you will say there's a ha before it. Okay, and even if you hear me pronouncing it, I'm giving the ha an extra syllable, which is, I'm actually saying hada. And if you see in the Quran, you'll see a little dagger sign. So even though it's written as hada, we say hada. So we add them two together. So you may ask, what is that? So this the is your actual this. This is the ishara. As I said, if this part is not essential, if you don't get it, it's not a problem. Okay, but so the is the ishara. The ha is what's known in Arabic as tanbih. Yeah, tanbihun. Tanbih just means an alert. It's a sound to draw your attention. Because when you point to something's important. So you make a noise or a sound to draw the attention, then you give the ishara, which is that, and then you'll say whatever it is that you're calling to. There's no real English equivalent to this. The closest I could think of is in English when somebody says, oi, you. Okay? Now, oi, you is a bit rude, but hadha is not rude. But the impact is the same. So when you say, oi, you, why do you say oi at the beginning? There's no such word.
To
To just.
So is it for like to get someone's attention?
That's it. That's exactly what this word tanbih means, to draw someone's attention. So you say ha, and the person turns around, you say hada. Okay. So this is known as harful tanbih. But for now, for us, at this stage, I don't want us to get caught up in that technicality. I just want you to memorize it as hada, hadihi, haulai. Okay, so you've got that. And then with the one which is far away, dhalika. Again, the ism al-ishara is dha. That's why we say dhalika, even though there's no alif there. You may think, why is he elongating the dha? Is because it's written like that with a little dagger sign. So you extend it. Dhalika. Tilka. And ulaika. Oops, sorry.
So, for the ish'aratul qareeb, when you say hadha, is the subjects you want to talk about?
Yeah,
That
I'm coming to the subject in just a second.
okay?
Okay, at the moment, I just want you to recognize the number one, the concept, which is the demonstration, which you've got, alhamdulillah. And then the next thing is the actual words, the actual isharat, which you've got as well. So now let's actually have a look at how this actually works. So we've understood the concept. We've got our demonstrated pronouns. Now we just want to apply this. How does this actually work? So as we said previously, that when an ism, meaning a noun, is demonstrated, basically what that means is the thing you want to point to. Okay, so the ism, the noun, is the thing you want to point to. So like a pen or a book or a house or a person, whatever it is, you want to point to them. You want to draw attention to them, right? So as we said before, it must always be ma'rifah. Ma'rifatun. The noun that you're pointing to must always be ma'rifah. And that is obvious because if you're pointing to something, it can't be nakira. So when we say it must be ma'rifah, your brain must automatically pick up. How do we know if a word is ma'rifah? What do we do to it to make it ma'rifah?
Alif lam.
That's it. Perfect. Okay. There should be an alif, a lam at the beginning of that word. So when we're using these words, هذا, هذه, هؤلاء, ذلك, تلك, أولئك, the word that we're pointing to, which is going to come next, must begin with the alif and lam. So remember, that must be ma'rifah. The second rule is that the ismul ishara, okay, so these words that we've just memorized, is placed before the word that we're pointing to, before the noun. The word that we're pointing to in Arabic is known as the musharun ilay. That's just a technical word. Yeah, that's just the technical word for the thing that we're pointing to. So let's give an example to make this more real. If I want to say this student, okay, so according to this, we said number one, the thing that we're pointing to here is what are we pointing to here?
Student.
Student. So that must begin with the alif wal lam. The other thing we said is that in this structure, first we write the ismul ishara, and then we write the thing we're pointing to next. So if we were to do that, we know the word for student, which is al-talibu. And then I want the word for this. Who remembers? I know it's still early, but who remembers the word for this?
هذا.
Very good. Very good. Very good. So we would say هذا الطالب, this student. Okay, very good. So this student. All right. So in that we've got two words here. We've got two words here. And we've got the alif wal lam. Yeah, don't forget the alif wal lam. So this word here is the ismul ishara. And this word here is known as the musharun ilayhi. Those are just the technical grammatical names for those two. Okay, those are just the technical names for the two. So ismul ishara. So that's how we do this book. Now, if I wanted to say, so this student, if I wanted to say that book, if I say that book, so what's the word for book?
كتاب.
And what do I need to do to kitab?
You add the al and then
Good. So al kitabu. Now, what's the word for that?
ذلك.
Very good, mashallah. ذلك. And that's it, you're done. Okay, that is as simple as it is. Now, grammatically speaking, what's the word given to ذلك?
اسم إشارة.
There we go. Yeah, ismul ishara. And what's the word for al-kitab?
مشارة.
Good. Musharun ilay. There's another word given for musharun ilay, and that is the word badal. So make a note of that. The word badal is the more grammatical term used.
What does badal mean? Like substitute.
Yes, good. So yeah, so I should have said that. The word badal, it means substitute. Yeah, substitute.
Does it have the same meaning as musharun ilayh?
No, it is not mudaf ilay. Yeah,
No, no,
musharun ilay simply
Is that-
means something that's pointed to. Badal means substitute, and I'm going to explain why it's called substitute.
Oh, okay. All right.
So suppose that I point to a book and I say, I read that. Okay. Now I can express the same meaning by saying, I read the book. Okay. Now, in these two sentences, meaning-wise, just simply meaning-wise, is there any difference between the two? So if I lifted up a book and I said, I read the book, or I didn't, or I lifted a book and I said, I read that. In
No, it's the
meaning,
same.
is there any difference?
No.
No, there's no difference. So when there's no difference in meaning, and you can replace a word with another word, and it means exactly the same thing, the word that you replace is called badal, because you substitute it for another word, but the meaning didn't change. Okay, so the meaning, it didn't change. So these two words, the that and the book, are interchangeable. I read that, I read the book. So I have substituted the book for the demonstrated pronoun that. Okay, good. So that's why the more technical name for the word that comes after dhalika is badal. You can say musharun ilayhi, that's fine. But badal is the more technical term. Okay, good. Now that everybody's with me. Now, in order for this to work, this construct, okay, هذا الطالب ذلك الكتاب. In order for this thing to work, I'm going to use the word badal just to be a little bit more accurate. Okay. In order for the badal to work, we have to have the following rules. So bear this in mind. So the general rule is that a badal okay, must agree with its ishara okay, must agree with its ishara in 4 aspects. In order for us to make this construct accurate and correct, it must agree in 4 ways. What are these 4 ways? Let's draw. I'm going to list them out and then we'll go through them one by one. In first place, is definition. Okay, so if you're looking at the example of هذا الطالب, both words have to be either ma'rifah or they have to be nakira. But we know that the ismul ishara is never nakira, which means both words must be ma'rifah. And I'll give examples in a moment, but just write this down now. So in this structure, both words must be ma'rifah, always. So make a note of that. Number 2, they both must have the same gender. I'll give examples to this in just a moment, so you can just write it down for now. Mu'annathun, it means something which is feminine. And the word mudhakkarun, it means has to be masculine. So when we said هذا الطالب, the genders of both words match. هذا is male, الطالب is male. Okay, the genders, if they're different genders, it won't work. If you said هذه الكتاب, that's wrong. So the genders must work. I will give examples to each in due course. Number 3 is word ending. Okay, this one I'm going to elaborate in a few moments, but as we know, that a word, it can end in a fathatun, which is the line above. It can end in a dhammatun, which is with the curly bit at the top, or it can end in a kasratun, which is the line at the bottom. So both words, هذا الطالب, they both must match in how they end. That one we will talk about in a few moments. Number 4, the number must match. What do I mean by that? I mean that if you are talking about mufradun, if you're talking about something singular, then the ishara must be singular. And I gave you a chart with the singular and the plural. So if I'm talking about one person, I have to use هذا or هذه. If I'm talking about a group, then I have to use هؤلاء. You can't say هذا الرجال. One is singular, one is plural. That doesn't work. You can't say هؤلاء رجل. No, one is plural, one is not. They have to be the same. So whether it's mufrad or muthanna, muthanna is dual. We haven't dealt with duals yet. We will do that later. And jam', which is the plural. Okay, so we have to get the numbering right. Okay, make sure they are correct. Now, I've given you these 4. So please remember them, the definition, the gender, the word ending, and the number. So, now let's give some examples to that so we understand what we are doing. So with the definition, okay, with the definition, if we say هذا الطالب, okay, they both have to be ma'rifah. The ism al-ishara by default is ma'rifah, and then the word after it's got the alif wal lam, so that's fine. That's okay. Okay, that's fine. So that's condition number 1 met. Okay. When we go to the gender, if I want to say, so this would translate as this student. If I wanted to say, let's say that female student, I've got to make sure both words match in the gender. So let's start with the badal, the female student. What is the word for female student?
طالبة.
Good. الطالبة. Okay, الطالبة. So notice I've got my alif wal lam, so I've fulfilled the first condition. Now I want you to tell what is the word, what pronoun, what ishara should I use that gives me that?
تلك.
Very good. There we go. تلك الطالبة. Okay, تلك الطالبة, it has to match. If I want to say this word, okay, this word, what is the, it's easy, what is the Arabic word for word?
كلمة.
Yeah, good. So al-kalimatu. I want to say this word. What do I need to add before it?
Al.
So we've done the alif wal lam, good. But what is the ishara for
هذا. هذه.
هذه.
هذه? Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah. هذه. Good. Well done. And let's do, if I want to say that word, what would I say then?
So was the
هذه.
هذه, was the هذه in the female one?
That's right, because al-kalimatu, so make a note of this, that how do we know? Good question. How do you know what is a male word or a female word? So most female words end in a closed ta marbuta.
Is that all or most?
Most. There are
Okay.
some words that are intrinsically feminine. For
Okay.
example, the word Maryam. Maryam doesn't end with a tun at the end, but it's obvious it's a female name. Okay, it's obvious it's a female name. So there's the big giveaway. If it ends in that closed ta, not the open ta, if it ends in that closed ta, that tells us that it is a female word. So now I want to say, going back to our question, I want to say that word.
Tilka.
That's it, mashallah. Yeah, that's all it is. Alhamdulillah.
Are
Simple.
these all female ways of using the words female, like the tilka, the hadihi, and the tilka again? These
Yeah,
are the female.
so I've given you three female examples. Let's balance it out then. If I wanted to say that man, so how would I say that? Always start with the second word, the word for man. What's the word for man?
رجل.
Good. But I have to say what?
الرجل.
Good. So ar-rajulu. I want to say that man. What is the right ishara for that?
ذلك.
That's it. That's it. That's it. ذلك. Let's do another one. That book. Always start with the second word. What's the word for book?
الكتاب.
Good. Al-kitabu. And the word for that?
ذلك.
Dhalika. Good. It's not a female word, it's a male word. So dhalika. And that's exactly how the Quran starts. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه. Okay. ذلك الكتاب. That book. Pointing to the Quran. No other book. And I could have said the Quran has no doubt, but I didn't say that. I said ذلك الكتاب. Drawing attention. That book, which is obviously the Quran, but Allah is pointing and highlighting and showing to this book, there is no doubt in it. Okay, good. So we've done that. So number one, definition. Number two, gender. And then number three is the word ending. Now, what do I mean by word ending? Okay, so pay attention here. These asma'ul ishara, yeah, these هذا هذه هؤلاء ذلك تلك أولئك, these words are known as mabni. I mentioned this in a previous class. Anybody remember what is meant by mabni or mabniyun?
Fixed.
Fixed. Fixed. When we say fixed, it means they don't change. No matter where you put them, they will always be exactly how they are. Their sound will never change. Okay. But the word after it is not mabni. It's mu'rab, meaning it can change. So, if I said to you, this book, I would say, هذا الكتاب. كتاب. Okay, this book. Fine. If I wanted to say to you, in this book, what do I need to add? What's the word for in?
في.
Fi. So I need to add the word fi. So fi, and we just carry on as normal. Fi هذا الكتاب. Now, what do we know about fi? When fi comes before a word, what does it do to that word?
Changes the ending
Good. To
kasra.
kasra. Very good. So this word here, if it had the ability, it would take a kasra. But it doesn't. It's just fixed like that. For a number one, it becomes very difficult to pronounce. If you say you can't pronounce. So hada will always be hada. But if we took this word hada and we opened it up to see what was inside, we would find a kasra inside. in this particular sentence. We would find a kasra inside. But from the outside, you can't see it. But from the inside, there is a kasra there. Okay? But the word is fixed. That's why we can't see it. Now, we said that the word ending has to be the same. So this word, the hada, and this word, the kitab, they have to match. They have to match. So if they have to match, and we said that the word hada has got a kasra, but you just can't see it. But with al-kitab, we can see it. So how should the word al-kitab finish? في هذا الكتاب. So make a note of that. That the ishara and the noun that you point into, they must have the same ending. Okay. So when you look at it, you might get confused. So what is he saying? The hada's got a fatha. The kitab's got, they are not the same. I get that. But that's because the asma'ul ishara, they are fixed. They won't change. In any circumstance, they won't change. But because there's a fi before it, we know that if it could change, there'd be a kasra there. Al-kitab can change. So we need to show the kasra explicitly. So fi hadha al-kitabi. Okay, let's do another one. If I was to say upon that word. Okay, upon that word. So we've already done that word. What's the Arabic for that word?
تلك الكلمة.
That's it, thank you. Okay, so تلك الكلمة. Good. Now, what is the preposition for upon?
على.
Ala, very good. Yeah, so the word ala. So we've got upon that word, ala, tilka, al-kalim. But we need to do one more thing so we can say this is complete. What do I need to do?
Use the ending
Of
to
which word?
of al-kalimati.
That's it. Perfect. Excellent. Well done. So we have to change it to ala tilka al-kalimati. Because the Asma'ul Ishara, all 6 of them, هذا هذه هؤلاء ذلك تلك أولئك, all of them are mabni. They are fixed. They won't change. Okay? But we have to look at the word before it, which is telling us what's really happening. So well done. So I've given you examples with the Dhamma. Okay, give the example with the Dhamma. Okay, give the examples with the Kasra. And the examples with the Fatha, that will come later. So that's not that I've forgotten. It's, we will come to that in a little while. Okay, good. Now, the next bit. Okay, the next bit, where we're talking about number now. We have to get the number right. So if I want to say these men. So the first thing you notice is that the men is plural. Okay, the word men is plural. So I'm going to write that down first. So I'll put down Ar-rijalu. Okay. Now I want the word for these. What is the word for these?
هؤلاء.
Ha'ulai, very good. Ha'ulai ar-rijalu. Okay, so notice both words are plural. Yeah, these men. Ha'ulai ar-rijal. It has to match. The numbering has to match as well. You have to have all 4 of these conditions must be present. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but all 4 of them must be present. If I wanted to say those women. Okay, those women. So we start off with the word woman. What's the word for woman? It's the name of a surah in the Quran.
Nisa.
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, and Nisa. Okay, and Nisa. Now tell me, what's the word for those? What's the ishara for those?
أو أولئك.
That's right. Yeah, أولئك. أولئك. And the thing with this is that the plural for male and female is both هذه, yeah, it's going to be هذه or it's going to be أولئك. Good, alhamdulillah. Okay, now let's see if you get this. Inshallah, you will. Let's mix this up a little bit. What if I said from, yeah, from these men? So what's the word for from?
Min.
Min. And then what's the expression for these men? We've done it about a minute ago.
أولئك. هؤلاء.
Good. هؤلاء. What do I need to do to the word الرجال?
الرجال.
That's it. Yeah, من هؤلاء الرجال. Okay, we'll do one final one here. What if I wanted to say to those women? So what's the ishara for to?
ثاني كاو.
Sorry?
ثاني.
Okay, so I want the harf first for to, which is
أو
ila.
إذا.
Yeah. And then those women, what's the structure for those women?
أولئك الرجل. أولئك كالنساء.
That's right. That's correct. So أولئك أولئك. And what do I need to do to the word النساء?
النساء.
That's it. النساء. Well done. Okay. So okay, alhamdulillah. Let's take a little breather here before we move on. We've got a final thing to do. Just to recap, refresh. So today our class was about ishara. Yeah. This, that, these, those. That's what we're looking at. And the ishara we said is of two types, qarib and ba'id. The qarib is هذا هذه هؤلاء, and the ba'id is ذلك تلك أولئك. We're going to memorize those 6. And then we said that whenever we use this construction, it has to be done in a ma'rifah, which basically means the thing we are pointing to has to have alif wal lam. And the ishara comes first, and the thing we're pointing to comes second. Like the example of هذا الطالب, ذلك الكتاب. We said the name for ذلك is اسم الإشارة, the grammatical name. And the grammatical name for al-kitab is musharun ilay, or we can use the word badal. Badal is more accurate, so we'll go badal. Now, then we said the 4 conditions. Whenever you want to write this yourself, okay, or you want to use this, or you read it, these 4 things must apply. Gender, a definition, gender, word ending, and number. Okay, good. Hopefully, that's all very, very clear. Now, the last thing we've got to do, okay, so take a deep breath. Not difficult at all, but it's the last thing. Need you to just pay attention to the last bit. Is the following. Let's bring our work together as you will learn with languages or in any study of any subject, things start to connect up more and more. So the ishara the demonstration also works in the idafa construction. And you're all now, mashallah, experts of the idafa. Yeah, you all know we've done a lot of work on that, homework on that, so you're all fluent with that. Right. Okay. We've looked at the sentence, the book of the student. Nothing new here, simple. Now, if I wanted to add an ishara, okay, I wanted to add the this. How many places is it possible for me to add the this? How many badals or musharun ilay can I make in this sentence? Was option number 1. What can I say?
This book.
Very good. So I can say this book of the student. That's option number 1. Option number 2.
The book of the student.
Good. The book of this student. Option number 2. Now, grammatically, you should know this easily. We've got this, the book, and we've got the student. With option number 1, I'm adding the ismul ishara to which word?
Book.
The book. And grammatically, what do we call that word? That word?
Badal.
Yeah. So yeah, badal, that's true. But in this idafa, remember we said the idafa consists of 2 things. You got the mudaf, and you've got the
مضاف إليه.
exactly mudaf and the mudafun ilay. Okay. So in sentence number 1, we are adding the ismul ishara to what?
The book.
Which is
The مضاف.
very good. So here we're adding it to the mudaf. And in the second one, we're adding it to?
مضاف إليه.
That's right. We're adding it to the mudafun ilay. Good, mashallah, well done. So let's do that. This is the last thing we have. Okay. So let's do that. So let's start then. Okay, with the easier of the 2. Well, they're both easy, but demonstrating a mudafun ilay. Yeah. So we want to do this one first. We're going to do that one first. So what we want to do is we want to learn how to say the book of this student. Now, who remembers when we did the idafa, what did I say about the idafa? About the mudaf and the mudaf. These 2 words, what did I say? They are?
They can't be separated.
Very good. The mudaf and the mudafun ilay. Okay, I said they are like 2 inseparable couples. They just don't go, or they're always together. Yeah, they're always together. Nothing can ever separate them or break them at all. except for this is the only one time where these two, unfortunately or fortunately, there is a crack. The two are separated. Okay, ever so slightly, but they are separated. So, what does that mean? That means we take the word Kitabu, the book of the student is Kitabu Talib, and we separate the two. Okay, Kitabu Talibi. And in the middle, what do we add in the middle?
Haza.
Very good. We need to add the right ishara. So we're talking about the student. So number one, the student is male and singular. Okay, male and singular. And we want this, which is qarib. So we need to match that all up. And when we try to do that, we end up with the word هذا. So the way to do that, the way to use the ismul ishara in a idafa is, and you want to point towards the mudafun ilay, you have to separate them. So kitabu هذا الطالب. Okay, and that's this sentence here. Okay. If I wanted to say the name of this girl. Okay, notice the ism al-ishara is with the mudaf ilay. So what would I do here? What's the word for name?
Ism.
Ismun. Okay, good. So ismu. And what's the word for girl?
Binti.
Yeah, so I'll leave a little gap and I'll say al-binti. Yeah, binti. Now I need the right ishara in there. The name of this girl. What do I write in there?
هذه.
That's it, perfect. هذه اسم هذه البنت. Okay, very good. Now, if I wanted to say the names of these students. So we start off with the names. What's the word for the names?
اسم.
Asma.
There we go. Yeah, so asma'u, and then I want students. I'm going to leave a little gap because we're going to come back to this bit in a minute. The students.
At-tulab.
Yeah,
Tulabi.
at-tullabi. So talib is one, tullab is students. Now, what's the correct ismul ishara for these?
Hawlai.
That's it, mashallah. Okay, so you would say هؤلاء اسم هؤلاء الطلاب. Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, mashallah. You're picking that all up really well. Now, let's develop that a little bit. Yeah, let's develop that a little bit. So this sentence that I took, the book of this student, this one here, Kitabu هذا الطالب. So keep that in mind. Now what I want you to tell me is how would I say in the book of this student. Right, so what's going to be the first word of the sentence? Fi.
Fi.
Okay, fi. The book of this student. So what's the word for book?
Al-kitabi.
كتاب.
Yeah, so we want the book of this student. We've done it already before. Yeah,
بالكتاب
so we will
كتابي
say
كتابي
بالكتاب
good. Kita, and how would the word end?
بكسرة
Very good. Why do you put kasra there?
because of the fee.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, so that's the point I wanted to get to, and you done it. So fi kitabi, and then what's next? We want this student.
هذا
طالب هذا طالب
Good. There you go. Well done. في كتاب هذا الطالب. So this is why now you notice as we're moving, the word endings are very important. So why has kitabi? Why has the word kitabi got kasra?
because of the fee harf. Yeah.
Very good, because of the fi. Why has at-talibi got a kasra?
مضاف إليه.
That's it. That's what I wanted to hear. Mudafun ilay. So there are two different reasons. Okay, there are two different reasons. Yeah, well done. Any questions on that? So just to summarize again, that we can use the ismul ishara in a idafa, no problem. And there's two things. We can either demonstrate the mudaf or the mudaf ilay. We've just covered how to demonstrate it in the mudaf ilay. And we said we just simply break up the mudaf ilay. And this is the only time that the mudaf break up. Other than they don't ever break up. And we put in the appropriate ishara there, matching the mudaf ilay. Okay, I think that's clear. B. Next thing is if we want to do what? If we are demonstrating a mudaf. Okay. Which is the possessed noun. So this time what we want to learn to say is this book of the student. So I've said before that the mudaf ilayh is not going to be broken. There was only that one instance where it could be broken. So now we've got to produce our normal mudaf ilayh, which will be
كتاب الطالب.
good. Kitab al-Talibi. But we've got an issue here because we want to demonstrate the book. So what do we do?
يأتي
That's right. Alhamdulillah. Okay. So we simply put the ishara at the end of the idafa. And it has to match the kitab because that's what we're demonstrating. So what would be the right ishara for kitab?
هذا
Hadha. So you just simply put the hadha at the end. I know that looks a bit odd, but that is how you do it. Very simple. So if you're demonstrating the mudaf ilay, that's the only one time you can split the two. If you're demonstrating the mudaf, you put it at the end. If I want you to say, this name of the girl. This name of the girl. So we can't break up the mudaf ilay. So give me the mudaf ilay first. How do we say the name of the girl?
اسمه بنت.
اسمه
That's it. Okay. So ismul binti. Okay. Now I want the this. What's the this?
هذه
we're demonstrating the word name, not girl.
Oh.
So is the word ism male or female?
Male. So هذا.
That's it. Okay, so this would be هذا. So اسم البنت هذا. Okay, just be careful of that because we're demonstrating the name, not the girl. All right, let's do another one. If we said these daughters of the men. So here we are demonstrating the mudaf. So we can't break up the mudaf ilayh. So let's start with that. How do we say the daughters of the men?
بنات الرجل.
Good. So بنات الرجال. We've got the daughters of the men. Now we want to demonstrate daughters. Okay, this one. So what would be the appropriate ishara that matches in all four ways of what we took before to give banatu?
هؤلاء.
That's it. Well done. Okay, so it would be هؤلاء. It would be هؤلاء. Perfect. Okay, well done. Let's take it one step further. If I wanted to say, and you know the answer to these questions, I'm just trying to keep you thinking. If I say to you, in this book of the student, okay, there's nothing new here, just concentrate. What would be the first word?
في.
Okay, the rest of it you've already done. So what would I do then?
الكتاب.
في كتابي. And then?
هذا.
الطالب.
الطالب. And then?
هذا.
هذا.
هذا. Perfect. So the way to start is by looking at the demonstration. Is it on the mudaf or is it on the mudaf ilayh? That's the most. And then you can work out whether it goes in between or whether it goes at the end. Okay, so well done. You got that right. في كتاب طالب هذا. ما شاء الله. Okay. Let's do this then. In that book. Okay. No, let's change that. Okay, in that book of the student. So again, do that for us then. In.
في كتابي.
Good. So في كتابي.
طالبي.
الطالب.
Good. الطالب.
ذلك.
That's it. Well done. That's it. Okay. Final thing, and then we are done, inshallah, for today. The next part is this also works when you use the pronoun table that you have memorized. So if I want to say this book of his, how do I write this? And then we'll do this after. So how do I say the book of his?
كتابي.
كتابه.
به.
Who?
أو كتابه.
That's his book. Now I want to say this book of his. What would I say after that?
هذا.
That's right. You have to just put the simple ishara at the end. So كتابه هذا. Okay. Let's continue. If I want to say in that book of his. Okay. What would I say?
في
في
كتابه.
في
كتابه
في كتابه.
yeah, في كتاب B
في
because of the fi. Yeah. So
في
في كتابه
به
and then I want the
ذلك.
that. ذلك.
ذلك.
Good. That's why I say Arabic is very similar to maths, right? You just got to keep applying the rules. Okay. What if I wanted to say that daughter of hers? So start off with that. Start off with daughter of hers. So what's the word for daughter?
بنتها.
Okay, so bint is the daughter of hers. I said correctly would be bintuha, and then I want that, which is matching with the daughter.
تلك.
Tilka. Easy. Okay, keep thinking. If I said the, no, not the. If I want to say this house of mine. So how do you say house of mine?
بيتي
That's right. Okay. So Bayti, that's my house or house of mine. And then I want to add this. So what would I say then?
هذا
هذا. Simple. Bayti هذا. This house of mine. Okay. And then we will make, this will be the last one. If I said this mother of ours. I'm not going to say anything now. Let's see who can do it.
أمنا هذه. أمنا هذه.
Very good. Okay, you got it. So, أمنا هذه. Perfect. Okay, looks like we understood everything there. Let us recap, and with that we conclude. Again, very quickly, summarizing, today we had a look at al-ishara. Okay, today we had a look at the ishara, which is the third out of the four. Simply looking at this, that, these, those. And the ishara is qarib, wa ba'id, هذا, هذه, هؤلاء. And the ba'id, ذلك, تلك, أولئك. And then we said that the ishara is always ma'rifah. And the ishara comes first, and the thing we're pointing to, the musharul ilay or the badal, comes next. And we demonstrate that with many examples. Then we looked at the four things that must be there for these two to work: definition, gender, word ending, and number. Okay, and then we gave loads of examples for those. And then finally, we concluded by looking at how the ishara works with the idafa. So somebody shout out the answer. If I want to demonstrate the mudafun ilay, where do I put the ishara?
In between.
Very good. If I want to demonstrate the mudafun, where do I put the ishara?
At the end.
At the end. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. So with that, you've understood the lesson very, very well. I'm very happy with that. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. Okay. So I know some of you have done the homework. and it hasn't all been marked. So I will get that done. Hopefully, inshallah, most of it tonight. If not tomorrow, so you will get that, and then we'll go over the sentences of the homework in the next class, which will be inshallah on the 30th of December, 7:30. So we'll do that. And in terms of your vocab as well, I haven't given you any new vocab this week. You've got last week's and the week's, so you've got 4 weeks worth of vocab. So you've got time to revise all of that vocab, because after the 30th, our next class will be on the 6th of Jan. And on the 6th of Jan, I'm going to give a little quiz on the vocabulary. Okay, so you're gonna have time now to revise all those words. Okay, so we will do a vocab test, quiz, whatever word you want to call it, okay, on that. So there'll be
On the vocab we did for the
on the
homework.
vocab, okay, on the vocab of the singular and the plurals, the English and the Arabic. Okay, so the question may be, what is the word for a ship, for example? Who knows the word for a ship? It was in your
Safina.
vocab.
Safina.
Good. Yeah, safinatun. So you'd have safina. And then I may say, what's the plural for safina or safinatun? You would say? Good.
Is it
Sufun.
Safina open? Oh,
Yeah,
it is Safina open.
yeah, sufun. Okay. So if I ask you, what's the Arabic word for sword? What would you say?
That's it.
Sayfun. Good. Okay. If I was to say to you, what's the English of the word sadrun?
Oh,
Chest.
Chest.
chest. Oh,
There
chest.
you go. So there's an example of what the test will look like. Okay, testing the singular, checking the plurals, checking the English, checking the Arabic of what we've taken so far. Okay, so advice for those who haven't done the homework, do the homework and do catch up with your vocab. And you've got additional 2 tables today. I don't really think they're difficult at all. هذا هذه هؤلاء ذلك تلك أولئك. You literally could do that right now and you'll be done. Okay, so
The vocabs that we would be doing for future homeworks, would they be vocabs that we already learnt prior to that?
sorry, Muhammad, I didn't get the question.
So any like new words that we'd be getting on future assignments or future homeworks, would they be words that we learnt before you assigned the homework? For example, if there was a new word in the assignment, would we have known about that word prior to the assignment and we're just learning it and we're just doing it again for the homework? Or
So the way the course has been designed is that the homework that you're given, the sentences consist of new words, but most of those words you'll find in your vocab list.
okay,
So hopefully the homework will encourage you to go back to your vocab list and memorize. You may find a word or two that's not in your vocab list, but that should encourage you to do outside study.
okay, all right. Yeah.
So I'm aware of that. So that shows me who used other material to try to understand what that word means. Okay, so this is all part of the language, but most of it you'll find is in the vocab list. So it's all structured that way. Okay, alhamdulillah. Any questions, anyone? No? MashaAllah. Any feedback? What do you think? You can give your answers in the chat if you like, or you can say it openly. What do you feel is the pace at which we're going on? Is it A, too fast, B, just right, or C, too slow?
It's okay.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
right.
Okay.
But
Just right.
I would say I think that if you randomly pick people to answer the questions, then everybody can get a chance to answer them, I think.
Okay, fine. Yeah, thank you. That's a good suggestion. Yeah.
Rather than 1 or 2 people just answering. Yeah.
Sure, that's a good idea. Yeah. Okay, so we will do that.
Okay.
Okay, cool. All right, alhamdulillah. If there's no other questions, then we can pause there, and inshallah, the Asma al-Ishara on the Google Classroom, and your results will be coming to you shortly as well. So you've got things to do until next week. So inshallah, I'll see you all next Tuesday at 7:30.
Will there be new
Okay.
assignments right now or not?
So no, you don't have any sentences to do for next week.
Okay.
Not as of now. You keep it on the Google Classroom. I may put up a few simple ones just to keep you engaged. So do keep looking at Google Classroom. So something might pop up. If I feel like putting something there, a few questions, I might put them there. So just do look at the Google Classroom. But you would have no new vocab. So just remember that, inshallah.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Barakallah feekum. I'll see you all next week, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام
Yes,
ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Thanks.
Wabarakatuh.